All right, here I've got a Word document. You could, of course, do this in any word processor you want or Google Docs and so on. But here the deal is, we've got a problem statement that says, as of September 8th, 2020, one Bitcoin is worth $10,157.21. Write a program to convert Bitcoin to US dollars where the user enters the conversion rate. Okay, so the first and most important skill to get in this class or any programming course is to be able to read a problem description and figure out what the heck it is that it's asking and envision in your mind where you're going to go with it. So in this case, as I try to figure out what exactly this is asking, I'd say, well, what's the data that I have to deal with? Because in my program, I'm going to have to store that data so that I can process it. And the best way to deal with data is to do something that we call to make a data table. So here I'm making a data table in my Word document, and I'm going to identify the name of each variable, each item of data in the first column, how it's going to be used in the program, what type of data is going to be stored in it, and then maybe some other description. Okay. So, looking back at my program description, I know I'm going to have to somehow deal with a conversion rate. So I'll just call that rate. And how is that going to be used? My guess is when this program runs, it's probably going to do something like ask the user, how many Bitcoin have you got and what's the conversion rate? And then it'll print out the answer in dollars and in US dollars. So the rate is something that they would type in. It's an input variable. And since the rate is likely to be something besides an integer, a real number, we know now that when it comes to storing data in C++, real numbers are stored as what we call doubles. And so this is a conversion rate. The next thing I'm going to have to store is maybe the number of Bitcoins. And the user would type those in. Those are input variables. Just for the sake of argument, I'm going to make this an integer. In real world, it could be a double, but might as well just get used to different types of data. So it's an integer, and it's number of Bitcoins. And then if I've got the number of Bitcoins and I've got the rate, I should be able to multiply the two together to get the value in US dollars. And that's going to be an output variable because that's what I want to get. And that probably should also be a real number, dollars and cents. So that's a data table. A data table is just going to the problem statement and saying, who are the main actors here? I've got to read in a bunch of Bitcoin. I've got to figure out a conversion rate. I've got to convert this stuff to US dollars. You do all those things. So that's step one. So in your design document you turn in on Friday, it should kind of be structured like this. Have the problem statement, okay, for programming assignment 1, make a data table, and then construct an algorithm. Now an algorithm, again, an ordered list of steps to solve the problem. We're going to do that in our own way here. We are pretty much going to start out by just listing these steps. I'm going to turn this off. Don't do that. So step number 1 in any algorithm is, in other words, declare variables. In other words, we're going to tell the computer first that we need to store some data. In our case, the data is going to have to be the rate, the number of Bitcoins, and the value in US dollars. Those are the things that we identified up above here in the data table. The three things that have to be stored. Okay, once we finish that, then we have a little input section where we read in the data we need. Once we finish that, we might have a section that does some processing. Apply the conversion rate to the Bitcoins. And once we finish that, we're going to have an output section. So that's our algorithm. And it's not written in C++. It's written in English. It's intended to be easy. And then we list the steps. An algorithm is like an outline. Under the input section, what do we have to do? We have to ask the person how many Bitcoins they have. Okay, so we say we prompt for Bitcoins. A prompt means just ask them for it. Once we've done the prompt, we can read the number of Bitcoins. After that, let's prompt them to enter the conversion rate. Whoops, I gotta number that correctly. And then let's read the conversion rate. And you can see here that this takes the form of an outline. All of these tasks, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, those are the four things you do in order in the input section, section 2. When it comes to processing, anything we do here is going to be 3.1, 3.2, whatever. Processing is going to be relatively easy because we're just going to calculate, spell it right, US dollars. And we have a formula for that, right? That's just the rate times the number of Bitcoins. That's all we have to do for processing. And then in the output section, we print out the results. Print out the number of dollars. So that's what we're looking for design document. At this stage, they're easy. They're really easy. Just identify who the actors are in this little drama. That's your data table and what they're going to be used for. And then write out ordered list of steps that says, how does it work? How does the input thing work? What's processing all about? What's the output thing all about? Steps 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you can do that, you've got the document created. That's good.